A late night Sunday video, a late night Sunday video. Man, it's been a while since we've made one of these. Lately I've been feeling a lot of love from you guys, a lot of good vibes, which is nice because I love you guys and you guys love me. However, if there's, one thing I love more than love, it's hate, vitriol, violence even. So, in order to spur these emotions in the human hearts of those watching, let's do a power scaling video. I suppose, in the most traditional sense, power scaling concerns itself with physical strength or, magical strength, but can I just say, influence and knowledge should traditionally play a bigger role than it currently does. Beings like Rupert I and Rupert II, engulfed half the universe in a chaos despite not necessarily being A1 fighters. Chadwick looks like a rather unassuming boomer, but his weapon destroyed 24 planets as collateral, mind you, right? That wasn't even the intended target. Someone like Louis Fleming, the head of the IPC, and the so-called most powerful man in the universe under the Aeons, with a flick of his wrist could do far more damage to the universe than any lone emanator. But at the same time, if he is truly a mortal man as the legends claim, he just gets lobotomized by evernights and then good night, sweet Irene. So you see, guys, true power isn't measured by the size of your fists or the speed of your strikes. It's found in the weight of your name, the influence you carry, the conviction in one's hearts, and the choices you make that ripple throughout history. In the end, raw strength may win battles, but influence, status, wisdom decide who wins the war. That is what it really means to be truly powerful. Now, I personally didn't take any of this pussy shit into account when making my list, but, food for thought. So with that said, welcome, my friends, to the 6 most powerful beings in the universe, in order, not including the Aeons. Ooh, 6, how exciting, right? Usually it's 5, I know. A quick warning, there's no Finan or Koslana on this list. We'll see what happens with him next patch. Should be a big patch. But for now, we must start at the bottom with who I think is the 5th most powerful being in the universe. It's Genius Society member number 4, Polka Kakamond. Now, on the surface, Polka is an odd duck. She's sort of just a serial killer for the Aeon Noose, killing all those who go beyond the circle of knowledge. And she does this purely because if the circle of knowledge is expanded or surpassed, then that invites chaos, in turn bringing about finality. Now, most of these people who tend to go beyond the circle are geniuses, which is unlucky for them. She's killed Genius Society member number 1, Xandar. She's killed Rupert I, Rupert II, Genius Society members number 7 and 8, as well as another one who is looking into finality. Now let's really break down why Polka does what she does, because once you understand why, you come to understand she's sort of like a cosmic force that keeps the entire universe in check. Polka Kakamond operates within the framework of the Circle of Knowledge, a concept where an individual's knowledge is represented as a circle. The larger the circle, the more unknowns lie beyond its boundary. When someone crosses that boundary, they create a knowledge singularity, which is just like a breakthrough moment that can drastically reshape reality, like the discovery of fire, or, questioning what gravity is. Polka's role is to prevent these singularities from spiraling into chaos, or just, prevent them from fucking happening, period, because the more knowledge singularities that arise, the more uncertainty and thus chaos is introduced. She kills those who, grows too close to the edge of the circle, stopping the emergence of deviating variables and chaotic possibilities that could push the universe prematurely toward finality. In this sense, she isn't just an assassin, she's the universe's self-correcting mechanism, a sort of cosmic safeguard maybe sanctioned by the Aeon Noose, ensuring that knowledge and progress unfolds at a pace that the cosmos can handle. Polka Kakamond's main power is that of manipulating probability, which she describes herself as, quote, "In my presence, the sequence of poker cards is not random, and the outcome of a coin flip has been predetermined. Whether it's storm or waves, all chaos shall move according to my instructions." Folks, Polka's power is violating our second law of thermodynamics, as she's somehow able to decrease entropy. If she has total control over this power, then in her presence, even a 1 in a trillion chance has a 100% chance to happen. She's bending uncertainty itself, and it may be why she felt confident enough to purposefully walk into a trap laid by Herta, Screwlum, Stephen Lloyd, and Ron May in the simulated universe, only to pimp walk out of the trap and tell them they should be grateful she isn't killing them, and destroying the simulated universe on her way out. So, hey, old bitch got moves, man. For the fourth most powerful being in the universe, I have the Sun Devourer Luxbane, the being responsible for what the Xianzhou described as the most appalling sin committed by the Antimatter Legion ever. Luxbane is a Lord Ravager of Nanook, and now the first thing to note about Luxbane is this nigga is massive. I'm talking his form dwarfs planets and stars, which is fitting because, well, he's the Sun Devourer. His greatest feat, believe it or not, devouring stars, yeah? One time in the Yavanna system, silly old Luxbane rolled up and in 300 years ate a third of its stars. Quote, the Intelligentsia Guild has provided a lights comparison map of the star zone around the Yavanna chain. 1/3 of its stars have been extinguished by some unknown force for nearly 300 years, and it is beyond reason to suggest that this occurred naturally. The Antimatter Legion roams freely across these worlds, shrouded in darkness, raining down destruction upon this eternal nightscape. The survivors from the Yavanna system term this one the Sun Devourer. Adding more, the Intelligentsia Guild report pointed out that the Star Destroyer arsenals could not have caused such a massive impact in such a short time, considering the size of the stars and the distance between them. So clearly this boy Luxbane, badass type of nigga to wear a sweater on a hot August day, went to work and just ate a lot of stars in a really short time span, and that's pretty much it for Luxbane. If he can devour stars, he can eat you, eat your planet, eat your wife, eat your kids. In third place, I have Hua. Hua is the Marshal of the Cloud Knights of the entire Xianzhou Alliance and leader of the Arbiter General. So people like Jin Yuan, Fei Xiao, they all answer to Hua. Although not confirmed, she most certainly is going to be an emanator of the Huns when we meet her. Well, look, this isn't the most exciting entry, I know. We've never seen her, heard her, don't got no feats. And if I'm being honest, I hate the Xianzhou, but, we'd be a fool not to mention her when she commands, one of the top 3 armies in all the universe. Well, to be fair, by that logic, I probably should have had Celenova here, too. Another Lord Ravager who commands the Antimatter Legion. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm swayed. In third place, I have both Hua and Celenova. If I had to pick which army was more powerful, I'd probably say the Antimatter Legion, purely because their forces include the Lord Ravagers, who are, they're next level, man. And while, yes, some of you might go, but, the Xianzhou have the Arbiter Generals, and they're equal to the fucking Lord Ravagers. Nigga, let's be honest, alright? Did this interaction between Jin Yuan and Vantilia, who's not even the fucking fighter of the group, make the Arbiter Generals look like they're on the same level as the Lord Ravagers? Man, the source of this statement came from Welt. It's the same nigga who said Invisibitch on the Express was an emanator, as well as just memo keepers in general. We gotta really look at Welt, man. He might be a fucking history fictionologist. Anyway, in second place, this is where the list gets... Yeah, motherfuckers been waiting for this, bro. This is the one people wanted to see who I got above who. In second place, I have Acheron, the emanator who should not exist. I say this because Acheron is an emanator of the Nihility, and the reason this should be impossible is because IX does not glance at anyone, and they most certainly do not create emanators like other Aeons. With regards to most other emanators' Aeon relationship, the Aeon will choose and pick who becomes emanators by allowing those individuals a greater than usual amount of access to the path to draw from with their own strength. IX, however, is different. They don't allow nor disallow others to draw from their path because they don't care. Acheron, for instance, wound up on the path of Nihility after watching her homeland just get torn to shreds and then, in her own words, ventured further than most.
Perhaps to you, I am just an emanator who's hiding her identity. But the sleeping and shapeless never glance at anyone. They have no face, no form, and even less of a will to speak. The Nihility envelops everyone equally. Only some who have gone under their shadow can go farther, tainting themselves with more Nihility. That's all.
Dr. Primitive corroborates this by stating, quote, "As for the few who can single-handedly withstand the encroachment of nihility on their existences, their journey of self-annihilation is drawn out to infinity." So, essentially, the longer she's able to resist the nihility and further walk down that path, the more powerful Acheron becomes. However, this does not come without its own risks. The self-annihilators, which is what Acheron is, do lose themselves the longer they're exposed to the nihility. So far, Acheron has only lost her sense of taste, but eventually, if she keeps treading down that path, she could lose other senses, her memories, and even her sense of self.
They leave woven strands of fate for humans to walk, and together, they weave a great shadow. And this shadow silently envelops them.
There are always those who rise from the shadows.
They mostly become a part of the shadow.
In your eyes, am I the same?
We still have a strand of color. But not much.
That is enough. Before they vanish completely, I will reach the nihility's end.
But that's my problem with Acheron. The more powerful she becomes, the more she loses. It's not an enviable path, the one she's on, but regardless, she's still the emanator of nihility who chooses to almost never draw her sword, because when she does, the person getting hit by it is getting sent straight to the horizon of existence, which is the boundary between existence and nihility themselves. Folks, this is the Shadow Realm she's sending these people to. Now, naturally, in first place, that then means I have Zephyro, Lord Ravager of Nanook, power incarnate. Zephyro is the most feared Lord Ravager, and like Acheron, Zephyro is a self-annihilator. To me, what gives him the edge, however, is the fact that he's also a Lord Ravager, meaning emanator of destruction, meaning Nanook is giving him access to the path of destruction's powers. Zephyro's feats are interesting. He's perhaps the most feat-heavy character in the game. We quite literally watched him one-shot 4 planets. He's destroyed a sun, he's destroyed another planet called Moonshield, and yes, let's not forget, he wiped out the Tijuana galaxy all by himself. Or star system, I guess it depends. I see people talk about the translation. He's been described as a one-man army for a reason, and even just a simulated version of himself managed to defeat Koslana with relative ease. Koslana, mind you, a being capable of harming an Aeon. To me, it feels like the devs are hyping up Zephyro as just, you know, another entity entirely. Very much the one we gotta watch out for. This motherfucker is clearly the one. Anyway, in the 0th place, because, you know, remember, there's 6 spots, I got Louis Fleming, because, I mean, regardless of what I said earlier, he does deserve a shot. Like, the IBC is either the first or second most powerful organization in the universe, right there with the Antimatter Legion. They've emanators in their ranks, fraction emanators in their ranks, armies with unlimited tech, weapons capable of destroying stars. There's a reason Fleming is joked as the most powerful being under the Aeons, but again, you know, motherfucker, all it takes is one evernight lobotomy operation and sayonara, niggas!